Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
So we are back, and we will be interviewing Eliud Garcia, who was actually one of my former students, and he's created a awesome career, not just in trombone, but singing, playing guitar, just a lot of cool stuff. And he's going to be talking about his experiences. Really up to this point after graduating, and then also his experience to this COVID-19 pandemic. And so we hope you enjoy. Pleasure to have actually one of my former students as our next guest for this series, Eliud Garcia. He was actually in my first recruitment class at Texas State University, and was a great student there, prize-winning student, then went on, did a master's at Yale University, and is currently a freelancer, has like several albums out, and not just trombone, but he's singing, he's playing drums, just doing all kind of cool stuff, which is a huge reason why we want to have him on. So welcome, Eliud.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eliud, the first question that we usually ask everyone is how their musical journey started. And so could you tell us how that all started for you?
Yeah, so when I was around 9, I have an uncle that plays guitar and still plays. I would always kind of hear him play in our parties, and I was really attracted to him just kind of being the center of attention. I was like, I want to be like him. I want to learn how to play guitar. So I asked him, there was a summer I asked him, he lives in Mexico. I asked him if I could take some lessons from him. And he told me like, yeah, just come a whole summer and we'll just learn how to play guitar. And I was like, okay. So he started teaching me. He was very kind of, how can I put this? He was very strict. And like whenever I would put a finger wrong on the guitar, he would start getting kind of, oh, you're not supposed to do it that way, and just kind of like yelling at me. But I think that's the kind of learning style that kind of makes you learn. So he was my first kind of musical teacher. And then from there, I started listening to a lot of rock music. So I was like, I want to learn how to play drum set. So then my parents bought me a small drum set, and I started learning just by listening and watching videos on YouTube and stuff like that. And then I kind of took that, and I wasn't even caring about school. High school was just kind of, that was my hobby, and my real career, I wanted it to be drum set.
Wow. So what age were you when you started playing drums?
I think I was 13 years old.
Wow.
So I started learning drum set. I made a rock band, and we started just playing a lot, and kind of high school. I didn't care about high school. I was like, this is what I want to do. And my parents were kind of worried that we want you to study and go do something with your life, not just play with a rock band. But then in high school, I had a trombone teacher who came in when I was a junior. His name's John Mireles. He's still in Roma. And he kind of changed the idea of trombone for me, because I thought you could only teach. I was like, that's the only option you have, is just teaching. So he started showing me a lot of orchestra music, because in Roma we didn't have an orchestra. So I was like, what is this? So I started listening he started showing me a lot of like Chicago Symphony and Berlin and a lot of recordings. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, I didn't know this was a thing. So that's when I started looking into studying music. I was like, this is an option that I really want to take. So that's when then I started looking into schools, found Texas State, and decided to go there. And I studied with you, and it was a really cool experience. And from there, I just started learning other instruments. I learned how to play a little bit of piano because of the musical classes, and I started practicing on my own too. And that's kind of how everything started. Then I went to Yale, and now I do other stuff. I do pop music, a little bit of everything.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I did know, especially when you were a student, you were very tech savvy too, especially like with audio equipment. Like, how did you get into that?
For audio, I think it was just kind of also the ambition of being in a rock band, and we didn't have the money in high school to go into a studio and just spend $5,000 on an album. So we were like, why don't we just buy like cheap equipment and try to make it sound as good as possible. So I remember we went and bought actually we bought a like a live power mixer, and we used to connect all the instruments into that power mixer, and then we found a special cable. I don't even think they make those cables anymore. That was like an aux cable that went into a USB. We would connect that to a computer and then record into I think it was like the sound recorder from the Windows, that little program, sound recorder.
Wow.
And we used to record into that. And then we started getting more creative. We used to record the drum set and then have that track and then record all their parts over that and then take all those tracks into our high school because they had Macs there. And that was when GarageBand was kind of a thing for the first time. I didn't know about GarageBand before, but then they had it there. So we used to put all the tracks into GarageBand there and then mix it on the school computer. So it was crazy. I mean, now that I think about it, I tell my friends, like, that was such a long process to record a song. And then sometimes they were off tempo, so you had to go redo it. It was like a long process.
Wow.
But that's how I learned how to do the recording with Angel. I'm sure you remember Angel.
Yeah.
Both of us really got into the recording and also video. We did a lot of video stuff too. I think it's just Rome is such a small town that there's not a lot to do. So the things we liked and the visual stuff we saw on YouTube, we wanted to kind of recreate it, and we did it by we had so much time to do that. We didn't have like a mall. I mean, the mall was like an hour away, so we used to go on the weekends. So then we had the whole week of just kind of exploring how to do all these things.
Yeah. Could you tell our audience who might not know where Roma is?
Yeah, Roma is in the very southern tip of Texas. It's literally the last thing in the map. If you drive 10 minutes from my house, you're actually in Mexico. So it's really close to the border.
Wow. So Ellie, you mentioned how you do pop music now. Can you tell our audience what your genre, like what are you doing with pop music?
So the first album that I released was I would say kind of something, I don't want to say Michael Bublé because it's not there's not a lot of horns, but very kind of like John Mayer in a way, sort of. And then the second, that was kind of a exploring stage of my pop career. And then I met this producer. His name's Giovanni. He's from Puerto Rico, and he showed me a lot of like salsa music and a lot of Latin stuff, like tropical cumbia and stuff like that. And he was like, "Why don't you try recording something like this? I think it fits your voice a little bit better." So then the second album, he produced it, and it was a lot of that music. So and it got a better response from people because you can dance to it. And here in Austin, people love like cumbia and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to go out there and see people dancing whenever we perform. So it's a little bit, it's a mix of everything. There's like boleros, danzones in the album. And then recently I released a song that's very like Colombian pop. That has like kind of like a cumbia feel, but it's still pop. It's very, very interesting style. So I'm still exploring. I mean, all the time, like I want to record something like this or like this other thing. So just whatever comes to mind whenever we're in the creative process.
That's cool. So I'm sure a lot of, of our audience and just people in general, they think, oh, Yale, you're going to like go play with the New York Yale or that might be the only type of music that you even like. But I mean, here you are like playing dance music and singing, and that's really cool. What are you still doing some things like classical with trombone, or do you mix those two, or just tell them a little bit about how you got to these different places?
Yeah, it's something that I'm still trying to mix, because to me I know Trombone Shorty does where he sings and plays trombone and trumpet, and I've been trying to do something like that because there's no Latino artist doing that. But to me it's a little bit weird. I'm just still not, I can't visualize it, but I'm trying to do it. But it's actually really interesting because a lot of my friends that were at Yale, they were just mentality of being I want to be in an orchestra, I want to do this. And I actually reached out to them and I was like, hey, why don't you come in and record some stuff for my album? And it kind of opened a door for them too. I have a friend that plays bassoon. He plays with, I think it's Louisville now. He's a bassoon player there. And he was actually a producer for one of my singles. And it was really cool because he's from Puerto Rico too, and him like his thought process of creating a pop song was really really interesting.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
yeah.
So you're creating opportunities for your peers now.
Yeah, and it's really cool because he went to New World after going to Yale, and he would talk about him producing in the studio with other artists, and it was really cool to see that him talking about that. Like he really enjoyed the whole time producing.
That's
Wow.
awesome. So, since you're just a few years out of school, I think it's really meaningful for you to maybe give our audience a tip of what you wish you knew when you were in school that now, like, fresh out of school, you're like, oh my goodness, I wish I had taken advantage of this, or something that just has been really meaningful to you now that you wish you knew before.
Yeah, well, I think it goes. When I went to Yale, I was in that mentality of I just wanted to play in an orchestra. I'm doing this pop thing for fun. It's eventually going to be over, and I think I did take a lot of auditions. And realistically, right now, the orchestral world is very competitive, especially for bass trombone. I mean, it's one chair, 300 people show up for the job, and so I started kind of thinking about other options. So I think for younger students is just keep an open mind. A lot of times we go with a certain idea of something we want to do, but then other doors open. So there's always something that you can do with music. Don't give up, because a lot of young students will just be like, oh, I can't win a job, I'm gonna quit. Now I know a lot of people that have done that. So I think it's just being persistent and finding something you enjoy doing. You're gonna make money, and you're gonna be happy at the end, because that's the ultimate goal, living a happy life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. And we are in COVID-19, which is one of the reasons we're doing that. I mean, you're far away at the moment, so we are doing some of these video conferencing calls as interviews. But can you tell them, like, how are you maintaining as a freelancer in these times? Like, how are you being creative?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of these virtual collaborations with other artists. I've been working a lot with my friends from Puerto Rico, and it's been kind of crazy because they have me recording salsa tunes on bass trombone. I have a tenor, but I don't use it. Just I don't feel comfortable playing it a lot of the time. So it's such a tiny small mouthpiece. So I've been recording a lot of salsa tunes on my bass trombone, and it's killing my chops because they're so high. But I've been doing that kind of stuff. I've been doing my own videos of me playing. I have been doing like trombone quartet music, and then I sing with the trombone, which is why I'm saying I'm trying to bring it together, the singing and the trombone playing. So I released 2 videos of me playing the trombone part and then singing and little percussion instruments. So just doing a lot of stuff like that, and making some. I made a coffee table. I made a cat cage for the window, like a window cat cage, one of those.
Wow.
So I've been busy, but I think I really want to go and just hang out with people, because it's kind of weird to. I see my students every day, but it's a computer. It's not really
Right.
them.
Yeah. One of my students, a younger one, was like, "I can't reach you." I was like, "No, you
Yeah.
cannot."
it's
That's so
it's
cute.
interesting. I hope everyone is staying at home and this ends soon, so we can play live too. Because I really miss playing out in the public and having the people there. But I think everyone should find something to do. If you're not a musician, try to do something, woodwork or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of goes. You kind of answered some of this already, but even when things were normal, like what do you do for hobbies besides being on the grind with music?
Yeah, I was gonna say one of my hobbies was doing this pop thing, but it's not a hobby either, because I do get paid for it, and so it's not really a hobby. But I've been doing the woodwork a lot of, and it's something new. I didn't do that before, so it's something cool that I discovered, and I've been doing little projects. But what else? I think that's it. I've just been doing woodwork, and I think a lot of the time that I spend doing music, it just consumes so much of our times that sometimes we don't have time for other things. But now that I've discovered this crafting it's very release a lot of stress, just kind of being there and creating. It's a different form of art.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome that we can use, at times like this to like find new skills that become
Yeah.
hobbies. Yeah, that's great.
And I think another hobby that's important for musicians is knowing how to use all these, doing video editing and stuff like that. I think it's very important because it's a way for artists to just share their talent. Because sometimes when you see a video online and it doesn't look very good, you just kind of scroll through it.
Right.
But when it catches your eye, people will actually watch it. So I think that's another hobby that people should get into, just video editing. And
oh, that's cool. Wait, okay, so since you brought it up, do you have some tips, like what video editing tools you like? Like, tell somebody who doesn't know anything, like myself.
Final Cut Pro, it's a very good tool. Right now, it's actually they have a trial for 90 days. It's 3 months for free. And this program, I'm not sponsored or anything. I don't sound like I'm sponsored by the program. But if you go to the Apple website, they have it there under Final Cut Pro. You can download it. It has so many tools. You can do all the small screens from like different people or yourself playing all these different things. So, but I think it's just another thing that you just have to spend time just going through it and figuring out how you have to cut the video and all these like the fade outs. It's time consuming, but it's something really cool. And like I said, when you work on making videos, the time flies. They're doing that for hours, and you'll be like, oh, that's the end of the day. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Eliud, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. I'm extremely proud of you, like being your teacher.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you so much.
I know that this can be especially inspiring for people who are young professionals and really help them think outside of the box too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, so on Instagram, my personal page is Eliud Garcia Music. You can find me there. On Facebook, it's just my Facebook. I have my band page. You can like it too. It's Eliud Band, the Eliud Band. You can find it like that. But mine is just Eliud Garcia. And Twitter is Eliud Garcia Music as well. I think all of them are Eliud Garcia Music. You just search up on YouTube or anywhere you like.
Awesome.
Yeah, and if you want to check out or anyone who wants to check out the albums, they're on Spotify and iTunes too. So you just look up Eliud, just Eliud, my first name, should pop up.
Awesome.
Cool.
We'll make sure we put that in the show notes for everyone too.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Well, Eliud, thanks again.
No, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you.
And be safe.
Yeah,
stay safe. Stay
Hope
safe.
to see you soon.
Yes, hopefully very soon. Yeah, thank you. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.